What's up, and welcome to Unspoken Conversations. I'm James Crow, and here we talk about issues and situations that are in plain sight. Things that people hate to talk about, but it needs to be said, from relationships, families, friends, and life. Our goal is to shed light and understanding so that just maybe we can start to rebuild relationships, families, and ultimately, our communities. What's up, guys, and welcome back. In this episode, my question is why do so many people listen to argue instead of listen and understand? Why do we do that? This makes no sense to me. All too often, a person will listen to what you have to say just long enough to disagree. And then they'll cut you off mid-sentence, and then insert their own thoughts and opinions in there, completely disregarding whatever else you had to say. They won't even let you finish and land the plane and make your point. They just cut you off because they didn't like what you had to say. Insert their own shit in there. And then now the conversation has changed because they brought in another point and they didn't even listen to what you had to say. This is crazy to me. This is crazy. The fact that they won't let you land the plane and listen to your point, it lets you know what type of mindset that they have. They are the type of person that has to be right. They didn't care what you had to say. They have to be right. And that's beyond me. These people will do this with books, with movies, with videos. These people will listen to videos and be like, nah, I don't like what a person was saying. Completely stop the video, go to the next one because they don't like what a person was saying. And all too often what I've seen is a person will say some bullshit, something stupid. They'll even put a stupid title on a video or something, or on a movie or on something to make a person click it. And then the point that they're making is completely against what they said in the title. So they're actually saying this car is blue, but the car clearly is red, right? And then later on, is in their description, they'll tell you why the car was actually blue or red. They'll break it down and make you understand it. And you'll say, oh, why didn't they just say that in the beginning? Well, there's a reason that people do all things. There's a reason. Are you not willing to listen to the reason? You just don't like what was said, so whatever. This is where people get the misunderstanding. You get what I'm saying? So think about this. If they'll do that with everything, and they don't want to hear the understanding, they just look at how much in the world that they're just missing because they don't have an understanding outside of their own brain. I mean, for real, think about that. If a person don't even make the attempt to gain knowledge and understanding over something that is completely outside of themselves, another person is speaking on whatever it is, and this person don't even want to attempt to understand what that person is saying or why they understand it or why they're saying it. Do you understand what's going on here? It goes right back to selfishness. It's just straight selfishness. That's all it is. This person has to be right. They have to say exactly what it is that they feel. And here's the thing about a person who don't want to gain knowledge and understanding. Here's the thing. Proverbs 4:7 says, in all thy getting, get an understanding. If it says that, what does that mean? In all thy getting, get an understanding. You can take that however you feel. You can take it however you feel. It doesn't say make sure you agree with the thing before you understand it and then get an understanding. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say you can disagree with somebody you don't understand. It doesn't say that. It says in all thy getting, get an understanding. That means you don't have to agree, but understand. Understand. Once you understand, then what you can do next is you can make an assessment. I see why a person feels that way. It makes sense now when you actually listen to it and you actually say it. It makes sense why a person would say that and why a person would think that. I still kind of feel like this, and this, but I do actually feel why a person would say that, why they would feel that way. And then you can make that argument without having to fuss and fight. It's crazy to me. It's just beyond me that people don't even want to listen to what could be the truth because what their little, I want to say the little peon brain is, I want to say that, but I don't want to degrade nobody because it's just so many people is just sensitive with this shit. So me, I used to do this same shit. There was a point where I used to do this same thing, right? And I ain't gonna lie, me, stupid. just not taking the time to really think about what another person has to say. I was too caught up in my own selfishness, too caught up in my own way of looking at things and thinking about things. Didn't want to take accountability that I might not be right all the time. I didn't want to really take accountability in that, right? So I could not stand Candace Owens. This woman used to get on my nerves. I didn't want to hear her voice. I didn't want to see her face, because it started from her saying something about the flag. What was that? The British flag? What the fuck was that? I can't. The words not coming to me. Maybe my goofy ass needs some sleep right now. It's kind of late. Anyway, I didn't like what she was saying about this flag and about the people and about where it came from and all that. But I discredited what she was saying without knowledge of where she was coming from and why she was saying what she was saying. I discredited everything she had to say. Now, and I was the idiot. So here's what happened. I heard that video. I got part way in, and I ain't listening to her. This bitch tripping. You know what I'm saying? The typical, when you get to hearing something you don't like, you turn up a little bit. I don't want to hear this shit. Turn into that dude, right? Turn into that person. Turn the video. I heard another video. I don't know if it was same day, same week, whatever. Heard another video. She was doing the same thing, but it was about something else. And the point that she was making was very, very specific. But what she was talking about when I started listening, she had never hit her point. She had never landed the plane. Excuse me. So the point that she was making, what she was talking about, I didn't like what she was saying. Turn the video again. Didn't want to hear it. She said, nah, I ain't finna listen to this. Changed it again. So weeks later, I see this little short clip on somebody's TikTok page. That was when I was listening to her shit, listening to what she was saying in this podcast or this interview. That was on YouTube. Weeks later or months later, whichever one it was, I seen a short clip, and this short clip was on TikTok. And it was her. She started the conversation, and she was making the point that I never let her make in the other video. She was making this point, and it was real quick, real sweet. It was about 45 seconds, and she nailed it. She hit it right on the head, and I agreed 100%. Point taken. Here's the thing. When I noticed she was wearing the exact same clothes, and it was the exact same interview from the first video that I discredited her from, didn't want to hear what she had to say, it made me think, maybe I'm the dumbass for not listening to what she had to say in the first video. Maybe I'm the idiot because I didn't take into consideration. Maybe she's got some points that she's making. She just ain't landed the plane yet. She ain't hit the runway yet. So then I had to stop everything, go back and listen to that main video. And here's what I found out. What I found was the very thing that she was talking about in the beginning, she was making a point on a situation that somebody had said something about her, and she was speaking on that. She didn't even get into the point that she was going to be making about something else. Therefore, I was completely ignorant to where she was going, what she was saying, and who she was saying it to. I was completely ignorant to it. So when she made it past that point, I was just listening. At this point, I am not listening to argue. I'm listening to understand. I want to see where she's going and why she's saying this. So I listen. I'm listening. I ain't got this fight mode going on. I'm actually listening. I hear her, right? She gets to her first thing that she said, like I said, I didn't like. But the second thing she said, I agreed wholeheartedly. She went to another point, and you know how she get to talking fast. She made another point. I agreed 100%. She made another point. I agreed 100%. Somebody else started talking, and somebody else started talking. They came back to Candace Owens. She made another point, hit it right on the head. And I'm like, well, goddamn, if that's how this woman thinks, she's actually a G. She's actually got her shit together. She's this chick's smarter than a motherfucker. But what I'm saying is I had completely dismissed everything she had to say and who she was as a person, because one thing that she was saying in the beginning that I didn't like. This is what I mean when I say stop listening to argue. Listen to understand. Don't go into a situation and see a thing and you immediately don't like what is being said, because numerous times I'd like to think that I'm pretty intellectual, right? I ain't the smartest motherfucker, but I would like to think that I'm pretty intellectual, and I know what can make a person look at a video. So I know that I can mix up the title just a little bit and make a person say, that don't sound right. I know James don't think like that. Let me click to see what he has to say about this topic. And they'll actually listen to the whole thing all the way through because the title wasn't just so bare bland. You get what I'm saying? I can say something really bare and you pretty much know exactly what I'm saying in the video based on the title. Like, for example, one of my videos was problems and solutions. Now, what is the video about? The video is about problems and solutions. But if you don't know what problems and solutions look like, and you don't know how to utilize solutions in a situation where you have a problem, if you don't know how to utilize it, then you don't know what the video is about. You'd have to listen to the video. You'd have to watch it to understand. But there's too many of y'all that don't want to understand. So you won't listen to certain videos because you just don't give a fuck. You don't like what you saw. Discredit everything. And that's where I'm going with this. I made another video. I made a video just the other day, right? And this one right here, I had this one wrote for days now. This video right here, I had this one wrote for days. I just hadn't published it because I have so many on the list to go on next. But this one right here, I think I'm going to put on next, and I'm going to have to post it where I posted that last one where a chick said, and I ain't gonna talk bad about it. She's right to her opinion. And shout out to the lady for saying what she said in my comments because I appreciate feedback. She didn't attack me. I didn't attack her. She has a right to her opinion. And I thank you and I appreciate her saying what she said because what it did is it showed that people will see what you have to say. They'll take the very, very title and they'll take that literally without listening to the rest of the video. And in the video, I point out one of the things that she commented on. But because she didn't listen to the video, the thing that she pointed out, it discredited itself because she did make a great point. She made a great point. But her point was discrediting the comment, not the comment, but the title of the video. She made a comment discrediting that, and she didn't agree with it. But if she would have listened to the rest of the video, she would have understand why I agree wholeheartedly with what you were saying. You just didn't agree with the video because you didn't make it to that part of the video. You listened to you saw the title. You never listened to that point. Once she would have heard that, she would have said, okay, he agrees with me here. So we are on the same page. We're on the same page. In the video, I said exactly what she said. She just never listened to that. She clearly said she didn't listen to the video. She didn't watch the video. So back to what I'm saying. You'll listen to argue. You won't listen to understand. If it, in my opinion, it goes back to judging a book by its cover. If you can judge that thing, if you can judge that title and not listen to the video, just maybe a comment ain't the best thing to do. Because for the best thing to say, maybe it's best not to comment. I'm not talking about her because again, I appreciate her comment. It made me really think about things to where this video here makes more sense. So by her saying that, it lets everyone else see who saw the actual video. They say, well, her comment doesn't make sense because in the video, he speaks about that. And he's in complete agreement with what she's saying. He agrees with what she's saying. He spoke on that. She just didn't watch the video, so therefore her video is valid to some of the people who actually liked her comment. The video her comment was valid, but it tells you they didn't watch the video either. And that's the crazy part. Had they listened to the video, had they watched the video all the way through and listened to understand, not listen to argue, they would have completely understood why I said what I said. And I clearly said in this scenario, all bad. When I'm not talking about this, I'm talking about this. But her comment was based on this and that only. You get what I'm saying? She used her scenario for all the billions of people in this world, and all truths are not transferable. So if she would have listened to the video, she would have understood your scenario is exempt to what I'm talking about. That scenario, I'm not talking about that scenario. Your scenario is unique, and you are right. You shouldn't have to go through what you're going through in this scenario. Like I said, that was in the video. So back to my point here. Y'all just, again, listen to a thing to understand. If you don't agree, right, just take the time to think that just maybe they have a point that they're going to make. Just maybe. Let me listen and let me try to understand where this person is going, because they're either, this person is either smart or they're stupid, right? Let me think that this person may be smart enough to make sense of what they're saying. Let me listen, right? Let me try not to degrade them. Let me try not to knock what they have to say, right? The whole Tate situation, when the whole Tate situation came down, right? So many women hated this man. Women hated this man. Just wanted to destroy this dude, right? And here's my thing. Most of them didn't even know what the hell he did. Most of them got their information from another woman who didn't like the dude. And they got their information from another woman who didn't like the dude. And all these women who didn't like the dude had zero reason why not to like the dude, other than the fact that he was saying something in such and such video. And most likely he was one of the kings. Tate's one of the kings of saying one thing and meaning something else. He's a king of it. That's one of the ways he got so famous. Not rich, famous. By saying things that will spark up an argument. He's dope as hell when he does shit like that. For example, if you don't understand what I'm saying, for example, one thing that he said that had the internet upside down and sideways is he said, I know that I can get people riled up by saying women are weak. But the example he made was, I'll be saying men are physically stronger than women. But knowing that I can reach more people, I just say women are weak. And I get everybody riled up. He knows exactly what's going to happen. So he'll use a different title to stir the pot and make you have to tune into what he had to say. But all too often, people would take what he was saying. They'll take that first little thing and be like, nope, he's full of shit. I want to hear it. Nope. Nope, he's a piece of shit. He thinks like this. He's a piece of shit. He's a woman hater. You didn't even listen to what the man had to say. If you listen to how he leads his life, how he runs his life, and how he deals with his family and his women, and if you listen to a certain shit, maybe you might understand something that you don't quite get and understand. Just maybe. And I'm not trying to defend. I'm just saying, sometimes your thoughts and your opinions ain't right. You just won't take the time to listen to understand. You only listen so that you can comment, have a remark, and respond back. That's all you listen for. It's the wrong way to have a conversation. Again, Proverbs 4:7. In all thy getting, get an understanding. Get an understanding. You don't have to like a thing, but you need to understand what's being said and why it's being said. Just sometimes, just maybe, there's a message in here that's being said, and the message may not be for you. The message may be for somebody that you run into 2 years from now. Just maybe the message is for somebody 2 years from now, or a year from now, or 6 months from now. But if you discredit this person and you discount what they have to say, you don't listen, you'll never hear this little lesson that clicks, say, that made perfect sense. Then a year later, you run into this person and they having this issue. And these couple of little words that you learn from this situation right here, you can say, you know what I heard? I heard. And this person says, damn, that's a great lesson. So here's what just happened. The person that you was about to discredit, they gave you a nugget. You didn't like him in the beginning, but you listened long enough to understand. They gave you a nugget. The nugget wasn't for you. The nugget was for the person that you're going to run into later. You just take the nugget and you pass it on to them. It was not meant for you. You listened long enough to understand, so you gave somebody else a nugget. The Bible calls that being fruitful. Being fruitful. If you understand that God cursed the fig tree for not being fruitful, what does that mean? If you're not willing to listen, and I'm not trying to make this biblical, what I'm saying is I'm using little things to get you to understand what this is saying, what's going on. If you understand that God cursed the fig tree for not being fruitful, you can't go around discrediting people because you don't like what they're saying. Listen long enough to understand, because there might be a nugget in there that you can pass off to somebody else one day. But if you don't get the message, there's a nugget that you can't receive. You can't receive it. You may not have nothing. It may not even be nothing you like and nothing that resonates with you. It may not be nothing, but there might be something that just sticks in your mind. The fact that you heard it, it might be something that sticks in your mind. And when the time is right, God will pull it up out of you and give it to somebody else, because it wasn't for you. That message was for somebody else, but you discredited them. So stop discrediting people. Stop cutting people off because you don't want to hear what they have to say. Stop doing that shit. All too often I see it. I in some of my videos, right? In some of my videos, just mine. I see it in other people's too, but I'm gonna say just mine. In some of my videos, I've watched some of the people that follow my shit and some of the people who don't, some of the people that say they love me. I've watched them disagree, watch the video, and then not comment, not like it, not respond. You're entitled to your own opinions. No big deal. No big deal. But then would comment and talk to somebody else about the video, completely disagreeing, and it makes it back to me what somebody who said they love me had to say about me. You didn't even come to me and ask me why I said what I said to get an understanding. This is funny, right? It's funny. I don't get mad about it because I understand they misunderstood Jesus too. They misunderstood. You get what I'm saying? So understand, if they can do this to him, who am I? You get what I'm saying? I'm gonna get out of that. I was finna say a couple other names, but this ain't about them. This ain't about that. This is just about getting an understanding. And stop cutting people down because you don't like what a person is saying. What a person is saying, or how a person says it. How a person says it. Get out of your fucking feelings long enough to get an understanding of what they're saying. If a person says, you make me fucking sick, if that's all they said, you make me fucking sick, right? I don't know why you do this and why you do that. You fucking make me sick. Here's what you normally do is you're like, well, fuck you. I don't give a shit. And you didn't even think to ask them, why do you say that? What made you say that? I want to know why I make you sick. Tell me why I make you sick, right? Tell me why. You didn't think to say that. Therefore, you have no understanding of why this person feels this way. You immediately went on defense mode. And this is how communication is severed. And this is how two people never get their point across to one another, because you ain't willing to listen. One person says what they say, you say what you say, and there's a void in between. Just like that, communication lost, friendship, contract breached. Just you throw it all away because they said something you didn't like, you said something they didn't like. Now the relationship's done. Neither one of y'all willing to go to the other person and say, look, we need to talk. We need to talk. I just want to know what you meant by that. Maybe I took it wrong. My bad. Maybe I took it wrong. And then you can get your shit back on track. But y'all don't want to do this. Y'all want to argue, fuss, and fight. You want to get mad about shit because you didn't like what you heard. You didn't like how you heard a thing. You didn't like that a person used this word, and now you're upside down, fucked up in your own thoughts and feelings. That's you. That's you. It's not the person who said what they said, because maybe they had a meaning that you just didn't like. So I strongly think that y'all need to get out of your feelings when y'all hearing certain shit. Listen long enough to understand. Again. And I want to keep going, and I want to keep saying it and keep drilling it. But I don't think I need to do that. It's past this damn near 25 minutes. But some of y'all need to hear this. Some of y'all need to understand. Listen to understand. Stop listening to argue. That shit's dumb, though. It's dumb. Beyond me. I'd be wanting to be like, shut up, bitch. But that's kind of rude. So then I find myself,
look, I didn't mean to say that. I was a jerk.
You know what I mean? But I don't know. At the same time,
that nigga's tripping.
But it is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
But till next time, y'all have a good night.
They are so full of the cap, man. I can't take it, need to break it. If they